So, what do you think about the icebreaker? Like, do you think it's a good formula? Good approach, or is it pure drama?
Like I'm like for relationships, I'm more on the conservative side. So when I just start seeing people like chain kissing, that's like equivalent of a mini orgy right there. So I'm like, mm. But that's just me. I don't think it's necessarily a bad formula. Like people, I guess especially for them who have, but a lot of them haven't dated that much. That's the other thing. I guess like a lot of them
I think.
were in said situationships or
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm,
Physical love language is a big part of how they explore their
mhm,
interests, and that's
mhm.
all okay. That's fair. But I don't know. Like like I don't care. I don't think it's a bad formula, but I don't think it's like that good either. Because
Mm, mm.
you're just basically to some point, everyone's just kissed each other, like, it's the same thing. Why don't you just, like, do everyone while you're at it, you know?
I think for me, what you just said, like, kind of made me realize something. I think it is, in a way, a good approach because sometimes I think if you're kissing someone you're not physically attracted to or like
Mhm,
remotely attracted to, it's gonna show in the kiss. And I think it's a good way for you to tell who you could pair up with. For example, for Kaylor, like her kiss with Aaron and Rob
Rob.
is so different. Firstly, because Aaron is so attracted to her, he's gonna give her his all, and that's what happened in the kiss. But perhaps because Rob, A, because he has no game, that's one possibility, but B, maybe he doesn't want to give her his all in the kiss, and
Yeah,
that's what she's sensing too, and that's why she didn't pick him
mhm,
later. I think it's a good approach in terms of like, you know, getting the vibes of who likes you,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
I don't actually understand the concept of, like, good or bad kisser because I don't really have a huge sample size. So I don't know, but I guess it does matter because a lot of people feel that chemical attraction. I feel like it
Mhm,
that that's it's fair and everything. Um,
mhm,
not bad and not good, but
mm,
it's valid, it's dramatic. People like
mm,
it. Yeah.
mhm. It definitely is good for TV, I would say. It's the shock factor is pretty surreal, I think.
Yeah.
The last season that I watched, Love Island Games, there was like a competition where the couples are just gonna do like trip tease and like dance moves on other people, trying to like spike up people's like heart rate, and whoever spikes up the highest wins that competition. What are you searching?
No, no, I'm like remembering another thing. Like I think I watched another show that was kind of like similar a while ago on Netflix. Um,
Uh-huh.
Temptation Island.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was like kind of similar, but it's all the same, like similar formulas, mix and match, and like there's
No,
always that temptation kind of factor in there somewhere.
yeah. But like the competition, I was gonna say, it blew my mind because it's the first time of me watching a Island show that's so explicit, like,
Oh,
because everyone is kissing everyone, like you said, and the girls are kissing the girls. And what's like more insane is that these people actually knew each other beforehand. Like some of the girls were friends. So they're like, I can't, no offense, but I can't imagine kissing you for like anything. You know
no,
what I mean? Like, I'm
same.
not saying that like you're not cute or it's just like I can't fuck
No,
up my
I
friendship.
know,
You
I
know what
know.
I mean? I
Yeah,
think
I
it's gonna make things so messy, and like seeing people kissing their friends just nonchalantly and like in a really hot and seductive and signifying that they're
know.
into the kiss. That
Yeah,
kind of
they're in a different world. They're in a different world than we are. That's That's why. That's why.
For sure. So what could you tell from the icebreaker rounds? Like who do you think is into who just from that round?
Well, I think people are into tall dudes. I don't blame them. Like I don't blame people for liking a tall dude.
Mhm.
Um, I don't really think I have other opinions because sometimes when I watch like people just kissing each other, I'm just like, yeah, that's TV. And then it kind of like blurs in my mind. So I don't
Uh,
really have an impression, but I think like because Kaylor said it like twice, Rob sucks and Aaron, mwah, like that kind of stuck with me. But yeah, what about you?
yeah. I think it's so apparent that Aaron has the hots for Kaylor. Like, I think for people who, even for the questions that don't fit, they're just trying to come up with excuses to kiss whoever they wanted to kiss. And to me, that's interesting and seeing these people expose themselves, even when this round is trying to be like, only kiss the person who fits the prompt. But these people are trying to break the game by just being like, oh, I want to kiss you. I don't think you have the highest body count.
Yeah.
And Kayla's like, thank you. Like, what? Why are you thanking people for saying thing? I don't think this is a purity contest. I don't think
Taylor
people
obviously doesn't know what she wants.
like
Like,
people's worth aren't measured by their body count or anything. I don't think it's valid. I don't know. For me,
yeah.
I'm judging people when they're like judging
All
people based.
shows will to some degree objectify these game players, like it's
Hmm.
inevitable
Hmm.
because,
Hmm.
you want that. You're talking about sexual attraction, you're talking about chemistry, and then, but when you're doing it, like you do it sometimes in bad ways and it's just objectification. And they objectify themselves willingly.
I'm saying yeah, but I don't think body count is something to be complimented about or like,
Yeah,
degrade people about, it's just
exactly.
something to do. Like, so what do you think about the coupling up? So like, sorry, before I'm trying to smooth my transitions. Okay, so these people all have all kissed each other and they're feeling each other. They're like going for the prize and testing the merchandise before buying, that kind of thing. And then it's time for coupling up. And in this case, the girls are picking the boys. And do you like the picking formula? Or do you think is a fair way to
Um, I don't know. Like dramatic wise, I feel like sure, why not? And I think it's always better in a sense for it looks better at least for the girls to be able to choose the guys first, take their pick
kind of
first.
like Bumble, dating app?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just slightly more respective that way. I don't know why. If you want me to explain more, I don't know, but it just feels kind of better and more comfortable that way. But yeah, like it kind of makes the men also
Look better in that way.
yeah, but they're also like portrayed as, merchandise, objects to be chosen.
Got you, got you,
Like
got you.
it like if you want an equal world where all sexes and genders are equal, you shouldn't be doing it either way. But that's 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 another world. Like we're never gonna get there. So yeah, this is I guess
So maybe it could be something like write down the person you want to be coupled up with for both genders, and then if there's a match, they just go off together, and then if
yeah, but that wouldn't be as dramatic, you
got
know?
you, got you, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to consider that this is a show and people want the visual thing. They don't want you know.
Mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
saying too many you knows. Maybe, take a shot when I say you know. You'll be out faster.
We do have these knows. We do have these, no offense. We do have these likes and um yeah. But if you think the show were, the boys picking the girls, who are they gonna go for? Scenario times. So
Uh,
who is Aaron gonna go for? Kaylor.
Taylor, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Um, Cordell is probably gonna go for Serena.
Hmm.
Koi, I don't know who Koi's gonna go for.
He already made his choice. He chose
Oh,
Janae out
Janae,
of the
yeah.
three that
Oh
chose
yeah,
him.
that's true.
Mhm.
Janae, Kendall, who does Kendall like again?
He likes to live.
Yeah, he likes to live.
He was introduced later, but
Yes. And Rob, I guess, did click with Leah.
mhm. No, I think Candle's also gonna go for Kaylor because she's a blonde who he described as his type.
Yeah,
So
yes.
yeah.
But he also like blonde. Did he also say dark skin or was that Liv's preference? I think that was Liv's preference. I got it mixed up. Yeah, that was Liv's preference, but yeah.
I think Liv just said dark features, which means a brunette.
Oh, dark.
What's your first impressions of the couples that got paired up with? So first of all, Koi and Janae.
Um, no impression. They look cute together. That's it. I did like it when, Koi was like test kissing Serena, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Was it Serena? And just like
Yeah.
lifted her up.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh my God, that's one of those moments that hit me. I like watching those kind of things. But yeah, so no feelings. We're just like, okay, they look cute together. Sure.
Hmm.
And then
Well,
Aaron
what
and
about Aaron
Taylor,
and Taylor? Mhm.
like, duh, sure. Yeah, sure, why not? And then
You know, when Rob and Leah were talking about sharing one brain cell, I
mhm,
think fucking Aaron and Kayla share half a brain cell, and even that half is like, a stretch. You gotta stretch that brain cell out.
yeah.
What
But
about Rob and Leah?
um no thoughts, no impressions at first, but after they started talking to each other, I really like their vibe.
Mm,
Yeah. And then
Cordell and Serena.
yeah, they have matching outfits. That's nice. But yeah, like I don't know, they seem to later when they were talking to each other, they did share similarities and seem to click with each other, but I feel like um Serena was mostly taking it slow and seemed kind of disinterested a little bit,
Mhm,
but I
mhm,
don't know. We'll have to keep watching to find out.
mhm. What about Hannah and Candle?
Um, they look actually pretty good together, but and they start smooching the next day. Sure. I just really worry about Hannah's foundation. I think she should switch a foundation. But otherwise, no solid impression at that point before Olivia showed up. Yeah.
After they are paired off, we go to a sequence of these people just, staying with their pairs and having conversations. And I feel like it's so interesting seeing the rituals of what questions you ask people. Like, what's your age? Where are you from?
Mhm.
What's your profession? What's your last relationship like? What did it end? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I wanted to say something about Candle and Hannah. I think it's so interesting when they're
Yeah.
like, am I your type? Okay, you're my type. Oh my gosh. It's just like so interesting to seek reassurance like
Yeah.
in this show because no one picked Candle in during the rapid fire
Yeah.
like matching sequence and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm ugly." Like, "Oh my god, am I hot to you?" Like I just think it's so funny and everyone's just even if like people are not people's type, they have to say it. It's
When you observe like cracks in people's egos, that's
like
when it makes me laugh.
and also the lying too. Like I don't think like from what we can tell later, I don't think Hannah is Candle's type, but they have to say something like, "Oh, we look so good together, babe." Like, "Oh my gosh, you're my
Yeah.
type." Like
That's
Like,
why it's fake. They just want to, you know, like they want to stay safe. They're not there to explore, even. I feel like they're just like, okay, that person's my type. I like that person. That's sexy. You're checking the boxes, and they sort of have like a superficial conversation and say, you know,
Oh
oh my
my
God, we're
god.
vibing so hard. When in reality, they've exchanged like 100 words. It's that's kind of what they all
no,
do, I think.
like I think when Kendall is saying we're vibing so hard, he's obviously trying to force something that might not happen, which
Yeah.
it didn't happen because we'll talk about that. But it's so interesting too that you see these conversations unfold, and sometimes it's so disingenuous. Even I think that people themselves don't believe it. Yeah.
But you know, like sometimes I think like some of them do believe it because they're so stuck in the moment and
Mm,
they're kind of in a weird, sexy island hive mind at that point. I feel like they're functioning as individuals, yes, but also they have these whatever they were like on land.
mm,
Whenever they get on this island and start filming this show, they're going to act with um they try to fulfill the assumptions that they think people are putting on them and the show
mm,
is putting on them. So, you
mm,
know, they will be more exaggerated in conveying their feelings. They want to fit in. They're afraid of getting eliminated. There's that constant peer pressure. Okay, I need to be with a couple too. So it kind of like it's not I understand it's not going to be 100% real,
mm,
but I think this is a factor that not a lot of people talk about that also plays into what they're doing here.
mm. This just what you just said reminded me of this other dating show on YouTube,
Mhm.
which have you heard of Pop the Balloon? Okay, it's
Oh.
basically it's not really a reality show. It's every single episode it's a new group of people, and um very rapid fire. Like if you don't like this person, you pop the balloon even off the look like itself. If you are not vibing with that person, you pop the balloon, and then every single balloon pop, the host will ask the person, the popper, and be like, why did you pop your balloon? And because these people are not media trained, because these people are not reality TV trained, they're so honest on this YouTube thing because it's not heavily produced. They're like, that person's not my type. Like, what about and the host will keep pushing. Like she is like, okay, what about that person is not your type? Some people are
Found
like,
it.
yeah, these people are so honest on the show. I think you might like it. Um yeah. But
Is it
like
purely for the Black community?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
But recently it's been bought by Netflix. But on Netflix, I think it's
It's gonna be a
all
shitty show.
races. Yeah, it's gonna be produced, I think, pretty
Mm.
heavily. But on the YouTube version, everyone's so honest. They're just straight up, they're like, you're not my type. They might not even apologize for that either. Like,
Oh my God. I want to watch it with a friend. I don't want to watch it alone.
no,
It's
we should. It's so funny. But on this show, like even when people are not people's type, they don't say it. They're just like, obviously you're a fire. Obviously you're a bombshell. Obviously your body is smooth, but I'm just not getting that vibe from us. Like it's always like, layered performance on this
yeah, like
show.
keywords, manifesting. I don't feel that vibe. You know, like vibe can be used for so many occasions and so many scenarios. It's like one word. Well, you don't vibe. I don't like your vibe. You know, it's like we're not vibing. What is vibe? But
On
you
this show, it could mean something like you're not my type. I don't find you hot, but yeah, people just say we don't have the vibe. So going through the conversations, one other thing I wanted to mention is Janae and Koi. From this conversation, I think she seems to be a really good communicator. And
Mhm.
even in her conversation, she's like, communication is really important to me. And she just seems very charismatic and translating so well on screen. Like she has all these jokes, all these one-liners, and he just can't keep up, I think, from the
Mm,
conversation.
I
What
don't
are
really
your thoughts?
I don't really have an impression for that.
Mm-mm.
I liked, yeah. I couldn't remember everything, of course, but maybe I just kind of skimmed that part and forgot.
Mm.
But I will be focusing a little bit more on them in the next episode.
The Aaron Kaler conversation, I was like, it's so funny to me as a Chinese person watching American person and a UK person like having so many cultural stuff in their conversation. They're like, I thought Americans don't have vegans. Like the differences between these people are so tiny, but they have to amp it up in the conversation. Like it's so funny for me as a non-white Chinese person watching these people who probably share 99% of similarities, trying to amp up their differences.
Exactly. It just
Cultural
shows that
standpoint.
how narrow-minded and like what little of the world they've seen, you
Hmm.
know?
And I
Yeah.
bet, the funny part is, I bet if I were on this show, no one's gonna be like, I thought China doesn't have, that would be so inappropriate if Aaron is just like, I thought China doesn't have vegans. It will be so inappropriate
No,
for,
it'll be
for like
followed up with, I thought all of you guys ate dogs.
that kind of thing. Like no one's gonna do that to someone who's actually super different from them. Like they
Yeah.
only do it to people who are actually absurdly so similar to you. You know what I mean? Which I
That's
think is
the
so
thing with
funny.
EDI. It's like at this point, EDI is so, a lot of it is so just fake. It's so fake. It's like it's so, like some places call it DEI, but I think it's just, it's good to have that concept. It's good to, I don't know, try to train people on this stuff, but ultimately at the end of the day, you don't learn it by going to a class. You know what I mean? You learn it by actually traveling, meeting new people, and getting over, like working on yourself and with introspection, not just sitting there listening to something. Like, like you face it and you try, but it's just
Having that
101
open
human.
mind, having that open mind too. I think what's obvious on this show, it's when people are only interacting or trying to flirt or trying to open their eyes for the people they are like attracted to, then
Mhm.
you're not gonna, get anything different. You are not going to learn because you are only seeking out people who you are initially attracted to based off of looks, which for so many of these men and women, let's be honest, like it's just a
Mhm.
specific look entailing a specific body type, entailing a specific race, ethnicity, that kind of thing. So it's like when you're only going for your taste and these people's tastes are pretty narrow,
Yeah.
then you are not going to get different results.
Thing
Yeah.
about this show, like these kind of shows, like it's not there to cultivate true love. It's there to provoke drama and make speed dating happen at, like exhilarating paces. It's not there for people to actually like build a solid relationship. Make, the healthiest way is to become friends and then become lovers or whatever. But they
You
don't
think?
get that. They're just here to like speed date. It's still speed dating. There's no
I,
difference.
I don't know. For me, like I can't imagine myself, going from friend vibes to romance because I think I don't know, for me at least, like the
Mhm.
attraction has to be there initially as well, which
Mhm.
I don't know if friends vibes will get me there. Like personally, I
Yeah,
can't
no,
imagine.
it's
Hmm.
different for everyone, but I mean, like, you have to get to know a person too, right? You can't just base off this
No, for
whole
sure.
relationship from the initial sexual attraction. You wouldn't do that, right?
For sure,
But
for sure.
that's what they're doing. They're like, okay, we like each other's looks and bodies. Let's talk. We've exchanged 5 sentences. Let's bang. That's what they're doing here. And especially like Aaron was just calling Kaylor my future wife. That disgusted me so much. Like,
I mean,
that,
to be fair, they are really similar, like in terms of shared topics and preferences of chats. So like he might not be far off. But I think I don't know, like for them, I think they're just lucky that their attractions also go deeper, or like although like he is attracted to this person, she turns out to be exactly what he likes. Like I think that also happens sometimes. But yeah, it's not the norm for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um and for Kaylor, I don't know if she's drawn to his looks, but personality wise, that's her up her alley, which okay, but like
Don't get your
seems
sense of humor.
to seems to be like a pretty solid match just from what we've seen, although the conversations don't go as deep as I would have liked personally, but I do think for them it's enough, and that's what matters at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
because for some couples, for some people, like even for, our parents or generations before us, it was about, surviving and getting through and paying the bills. And a lot of people just got together by, I don't know, like
Matchmaking.
get matchmaking, exactly. And they didn't really have deep thoughts and conversations. They weren't as depressed as we were and as anxious about, the whole living scenario as we are. And I don't think they had that kind of deep conversations and ideas and thoughts that we are cultivating and thinking about now.
Dude,
I know
that's
it's
true.
true
I
for
don't
my
think
parents.
we are gonna translate well on this show because I'm just gonna fucking talk about fucking films, and maybe none of it will be shown on screen. And
Because we don't act for the camera. You have to have a different kind of
exactly.
face for the camera.
Like exactly. And when I hate someone or when I don't think they're hot, I might just say it. I might just be a balloon girly and be like, you are not my type.
No,
I
that will get you screen time. See, like that's
mean, that will
different.
get me haters, like, because no one is doing that. Like, they all follow the unspoken rule of just pretending to be open. You know what I mean? Like
Let's
get
face
on
it,
these.
we'll never get on a show like this either. Like,
No, I'm not gonna apply for it. Like to start off, like, and when they ask for my body count, it will be depressingly low. Like, I won't fit in. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, you'll be the
yeah,
sore thumb. Yeah.
yeah. I will be eliminated first night, but even before like the night routine. So after they all chatted, they move on to the first night. And they always do this. They show the night routines, they show them getting in bed together, and they show the morning after. They always do the creepy like night cameras showing how these people sleep at night. Um,
Typical standard stuff. Yes.
yeah, the morning after they show the girls getting ready. Sometimes the bros do like fist bumps and whatever, and then the men, I think they do get women breakfast. I think that's standard for these shows.
They also work out.
Yeah, they work out. And you get to see these people applying their makeups. And the second day, I noted down two conversations in particular.
Mhm.
First one, oh, three actually. First one being Kendall and Hannah, where Kendall is again seeking reassurance because they made out all the night before. He's like, "Yeah, I'm your type. Am I your type? We look good together, don't like I just can't. I can't. Like
I didn't even notice that he was he kept looking for reassurance. I didn't even
like
notice.
I can't. But I do think what's good is that the first night, I don't think he does it intentionally respectfully, but he didn't touch her throughout the night. But she is like, okay, I do want you to touch me. And I think, respecting the other person's physical wishes and needs is important. And I think that conversation was good in terms
Yeah,
of,
I like that part too. Yeah, I like that.
mhm. But I
Mhm.
don't think he did it intentionally in a respectful way. I just think he
Yeah.
didn't touch her because he wasn't into her. I don't know. I'm so mean, but I think
No, I
that's,
think that's definitely a layer in that.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No
And
offense.
no offense. And
Uh,
another one is Aaron and Kaylor because their conversation was just, I don't like it at all because they were talking about shoe sizes, implying meat sizes.
No, it's as shallow as my cat's gaze, you know? Like there's nothing there. It's
And
just empty.
and to me, it's so awkward. I don't understand why Kaylor thought they are hitting it off so badly, where they were like, I don't think they're on the same humor level as well. Like when he's joking about the sex lasting only 18 seconds and stuff, and she was like not really laughing alongside him. But in confessional, she's like, he is so funny. He is so funny. Oh my gosh. Like he is exactly what I want in a man. I was
Oh,
like,
she's just painting a picture of what she wants and just like plastering onto Aaron, just like, okay,
no,
this is what I want, bum bum bum, and you
no,
are
agreed.
it. Yeah.
Agreed. I don't think the conversation has anything where
But she
spark
can't see it. She can't see it.
agreed.
Yeah.
Um like the weird sex talk is what I jotted down in my notes.
I thought I heard wrong, you know. I thought it was like a cultural thing. I was like, are they talking about sex times? That's so weird. I don't think that's what they're talking about. Let me go confirm with V. And okay, apparently they are, and that's disgusting. Pass. Um,
And the third one I noted down was Serena or Cordell because I was laughing. That shit cracked me up so bad because she's like, "What's your long-term goals?" And he's like, "What you
what's
mean?"
yeah.
And she's like, "Your goal long-term."
Yeah.
It just cracked me up so bad.
Uh,
And she's
I'll have
like, "Do
it
you
from
listen to
thinking.
podcasts?" And he's like, "No, not really." Do you have any recommendations? And she's like, "No, that was a test." I think that is so funny. It's so funny because it just showed that they are not on the same wavelengths.
They're
And
not.
they were trying their hardest to keep it going, but it was so hard. And she really couldn't keep a straight face when he's like, I wanted to be an actor. And he's like, mortgage below, but utilities behind.
Gosh.
I was like, what?
Oh my God, I want to watch it with you.
I think that's the magic of watching it with someone. You can just, fire like one-liners at each other. And
Exactly.
yeah, sparks
In the
will be
moment.
flying. And then I got a text from Kendall, I think. And it's
Yes.
always a dramatic moment in these shows when people get texts because productions will be trying to search it up when it happens. And the first bombshell walks in. And on these shows, the bombshells are always hot enough to disturb shit in the couples. So
I think
Liv,
Olivia was that hot even, but that's just my hot take.
I mean, it's more, sometimes they'll introduce someone who's just traditionally, people's type, and that will get people going, which it did
Yeah.
in this instance. And she is an Australian blonde. And what's so
Yes.
funny is that they're trying to again play up her Australianness, which to me, I'm like, I know there's cultural differences, but when you guys are chatting, there's literally zero difference in terms of what you're into because these people probably have similar social circles, they interact with similar people, and they like similar
Exactly.
stuff. So there's
But
not.
it is a kink. I know like here, some of my friends, they like Aussie people. Like it's their accent
Did you
and
see my eyes? Just I was like, what's
I,
so different? What's the big deal?
I don't know. I have a friend that likes people with accents. It's just her thing. Like
But
she just
why? Huh? Like why Australian accents? No offense, but
no, just anyone with an accent, you know,
okay,
like
okay,
it's just
okay.
like it's kind of her thing. Um, yeah. But the thing is like about introducing new characters in and also formulas of any kind of dating show. A thing that really is kind of not discussed, openly discussed is like the misogyny. Like it's
Mm,
obviously there, right? I
mm,
was reading a book by this Japanese author. I forgot her name, but it's called like it's literally called the title is Misogyny. And it
Mm,
talks about the different kinds of like misogynistic views that people in the society have. And a lot
mm,
of those chapters just talk about the different kinds of like misogynistic views that women have against each other. And I feel like this is like a classic example, classic portrayal
mm,
of
mm,
what that kind of misogyny is, right? Like you're
mm.
kind of forcing women to, I don't know, I wouldn't say like fight. They're not
There's
fighting,
a
but
there's a word in Chinese called 雌竞.
yeah.
In English, I think it might be translated into cat fights. I think there's a kink in society where people love watching women fight. Sometimes over men, sometimes over, oh, is she hotter than me? Like petty shit like
Yeah,
that. And I don't get it. Like I don't understand what's the big deal of cat fighting. I think it just, I don't know. It discourages us from uniting together, which we should always. Like
exactly. But it'll be rooted, it's gonna be rooted in the society for a long while yet. Like
it's just the structure of the show, right?
yeah,
Introducing like competitors from the same gender. It just encourages hate towards the
exactly.
newcomer because
Yes.
of
I'm
the
not talking
structure
about
of the show.
Olivia like specifically. I'm just
Mhm.
saying that in society in general, like it's just gonna be a real thing there. Like a lot of women will hate women, will be the people that hate women
There
most. You can
are.
see from the body language too, like in the show, like
Mhm.
Olivia, I mean, she's a newcomer, obviously, but she wasn't as warmly welcomed as when all the girls were just
Or,
like
oh my god, you're so hot in the show. Yeah,
like they were starting on the same like starting line, but now like there's someone in with them, and you
because
see
the
that there.
numbers will be odd now, and there's one of these original girls will be left single because of the structure of the show
But
because
there's
she
2 men
gets to pick.
now.
Yeah,
You've
and
got 2
then
men now.
no more animosity will happen later too because of the structure of the show, which encourages cracks to be exposed. Okay, yeah, Liv walked in and some dudes are stoked. Who are these people?
Uh,
Mike, to you.
It's Kendall. Kendall's like, guys, we need to talk. She is my type. And then
Isn't that so funny too? Because sometimes I think girls do that too. Like, you let each other know who you are into so that the other people don't go for who you want to go for. And then what happened? Um,
basic,
Taylor,
yeah.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
and then Liv started pulling men, off to the side for conversations. And when Aaron and Liv were having conversations and laughing, I don't know about what, Taylor started crying in confessionals and was like, I don't know why I'm feeling so crazy, but I feel like we're so good already, and it might be fucked up by this new hot blonde girl, bombshell, who is an Australian beast. That's kind of what are your thoughts?
I just feel like I said earlier, like she needs to cope, find ways to cope with this amount of stress because I don't think that's a lot. That's a big amount of stress at all. She needs to learn how to deal with these, or else she's gonna be crying a lot.
They sometimes just find emotionally unstable people to, be on these shows. Just
How do
so
you select these people? That's my other question. Like, how do they cast them?
I think the one thing, I think the most important thing is how well are you going to translate to the reality show format? Are you going to be a good person talking to the camera? Are you going to be delivering these viral, potentially one-liners? Are you going to be able to, or willing to stir shit up? I think these are like the main criteria. Um, yeah, like, because
Mhm.
I think what makes these shows entertaining is when people are willing to switch partners who are bad communicators too. Like when they're toxic, when they can't communicate with their partners, they're being shifty and dodgy. I think that makes good TV. I think they purposely find people with bad dating records. Um,
Maybe, yeah. Um, okay, so let's just skip to the part where Liv makes her decision. And
Mhm.
her ultimate decision, contrary to previous belief and what she's been leading us to believe, is Rob, the snake wrangler.
Do you want to do a Rob impersonation of the moment?
I already did. I already did though. I can't find the moment again. But he was like, wait, me? What, me? Me? And he was like kind of like shocked. Funny. Very funny. And
Mhm.
it was kind of sweet when he said, I I want to make Leah happy. I care
Mhm.
about Leah and I think I want to make her happy. Um,
Mhm.
he was like pretty set on Leah. And then I don't understand. I don't understand Liv. I don't like her either.
Why?
I don't know. Because the show wants me to not like her, I guess. I just listen to the show.
I think there are bits of her that I find pretty relatable, which I will talk about later because it didn't happen this episode yet, but I think there are parts of her that I think I do sometimes. Not in terms of, dating, but in terms of interacting with girls. I
Mhm.
think there are aspects of her that I find relatable. Um,
I feel like she wasn't respectable enough in my perspective. Like,
oh,
um,
she didn't respect the established couples, right? That kind of
yeah,
thing.
I feel like when
Mhm.
she dragged the men off for conversations, she could have done it in a more respectable way.
Mm.
Like, she kind of just ignored, I don't know if it's the cameras or the editing, but she kind of just ignored the ladies on side and just like, can I have a conversation with you? And it was kind of
She might just be bad at reading social cues. Yeah, but
also, yeah. But I feel
yeah,
like it could have been done better.
yeah, no, agreed, agreed.
Mhm.
I think being the bombshell, like she can't just be like cowering to the side and not intruding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, I see what you're saying. I agree. But
Mhm.
I wanted to go back to the conversation Liv and Rob were having when they were like, "Oh, what part of Australia are you from?" And she's like, "Sydney," and he's like, "That's the only part I haven't been." And she's like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "Insert locations." I forget where he's been, but he's like, "I was there catching some snakes." And at that moment, I was like, I recall this antic. I recall this tactic of just film bros, like the film bros I know of. They are just trying to be like quirky in conversations, inserting just random facts of their behaviors just to get people to be intrigued by them. Like
Mhm.
I recognize behavior from this man, a snake wrangler, and the niche people, the niche group of film bros I personally know of. I think they exhibit similar behaviors in that they act quirky just so they can seek attention, just so they can get people to be intrigued by them.
It's like flashing your own label.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like Snake Wrangler, Rob, 25, I don't know, 25,
Yeah,
cowboy boots. You know what I mean? Like just,
exactly.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. And then after picking this Rob and him being so fucking shocked and Leah being really sad on the couch. Was she on the couch? I forget. Ariana, the host, is like, in this game, it's never good to be single. But two
Dun.
two
She,
new bombshells walked in and she's like, have fun in there. And the editing did a good job. The music was ramping up, like the rapid fire of like shocked faces and like these two stacked men, just fit men walking in and like a good cliffhanger
Mhm.
through editing and through the plot design and everything.
My
Um
cat is annoying the hell out of me.
all good.
When
You will do well with Rob or with Leah. She has pigs, she has 6 dogs and horses and
oh, turn around. Yes.
Twin
Oh my God.
Twin is
Go.
morphing into your clothes the same color.
Go.
Does she understand, or he, sorry, but Twin
He is
is
not bilingual. He is a very Chinese cat. This
God.
isn't this conference. Do you have any questions for him? Balls.
What's your type physically?
I have no balls. I cannot engage in physical contact with the other sex. Dismissed. Okay. Yeah, he's dismissed. It's a sad story. He's
Alright.
ballless.
Damn, so he won't be off on Love Island being hot commodity.
Nope.
His length, his shoe size won't implicate his meat size.
When he
Sorry.
lights his tags up, it's just gonna be ballless, but cute, you know? Like platonic, his labels.
Platonic vibes only.
Yes, exactly. Special little platonic cat.
Oh, that's so cute. Did you get it customized?
Yeah, I made like a bunch of his like memes. His favorite one broke when I was pooping and playing on my phone, and it just kind of came apart. So sad, but he has like another Engie face, another kind of like I don't care about you, fuck off face, and also other faces. But yeah.
We should host a bachelor show, a ballless bachelor show of Cun Cun and attract female cats, and then when that show pops off, we can sell Cun Cun merches. Good business plan.
Yes. I look like that frog, like pointing at the green frog pointing at his.
Yeah. Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a long one. That was certainly longer than I expected.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it off into 2 episodes for sure.
Yes.
But this concludes our first episode of Love Island, and I said it at the beginning. Shit's gonna happen later. This episode's more just,
Introductions, setting the
cultivating, plot points and stuff, and then I think it ended on a good cliffhanger, and I clicked on the next episode immediately because I wanted to find out what happens later. Yeah, the structure of the show just encourages addicts like myself, like I'm just obsessed. I can't.
Don't do well with cliffhangers.
I don't. There's more to come. These cliffhangers. You'll see. And like those in the comments, no spoilers, please, but do let us know like first impressions of the show, and let us know if we're in it for a hell of a season, maybe in the comment, but don't say what happens, please. Please don't say what happens. Tiana, what thoughts and feelings do you want to hear people share about the show? What are your dying questions?
Anything, as long as there's no spoilers. And I try to watch these shows and not get too invested because I feel like that's a bad investment of my feelings. But I'll just keep watching and see what's there to offer, I guess. So
okay, if it makes you feel better, we can try to intellectualize everything and observe cultural patterns and observe stuff
it's okay. We just go with the flow. Whatever comes up, we discuss, and whatever, we don't have to. This is entertainment. We're trying to be entertaining.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are you entertained yet? Commentators or like subscribers?
Entertained yet? Okay, yeah. If you want to watch us do more of these, please leave a like. Subscribe, that's even better, or leave a comment. Any combination of the 3 will be very appreciated.
We will also do films later, don't worry. Like this is not a mainstay, this is not exclusively our content from now on. We're just trying to mix it up and try new stuff out. It's very much a new channel, so grow with us if you like.
Still testing the algorithm because we are not getting it.
We are trying to figure you out, algorithm. We are trying to figure you out.
Yes, sir. Okay. That concludes it. See you next time. Let's get in touch next time. Goodbye.
Bye.